Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess of Los Angeles, California. I help to establish the community one house at a time. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to keep this short and sweet. This is some real estate advice for you. A lot of the times we get connected to the things that we live in, that we drive, to certain situations, to certain relationships. And sometimes it's not healthy to hold on to something that it's time to let go of. My mother always used to say that if you keep your hands closed, you can't catch your blessings. But if you open them up, you can definitely catch more. So today we're actually going to talk about 6 things that will let you know if it is time to move. We get very attached to things. So let's talk about if this is time for you to move or not. It's a big decision. It's not always cheap. It's not always an easy decision because you may be emotionally attached, but we are going to address just a few of them, and I like to keep it short and sweet. So most people dread the thought of moving, including me, even though I absolutely love selling real estate, but the moving part is not my favorite. I mean, let's face it, it's not fun to live out of boxes, but a lot of the times we get so attached to a home or an apartment that we don't want to look at things realistically. So we're going to talk about those today. Number 1, your home is too small. Maybe when you purchased the home, it was a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, but now you've added 2 children, and now you're kind of crawling on top of one another. It may be time to increase the square footage of your living or expand it in order to be more comfortable so that you're not climbing on top of one another. Number 2, your home may be too large. Life changes. And maybe now your children are actually gone and you're now an empty nester, and most of your house is empty, and you're basically just keeping it clean with no one being there, and the added costs that it takes to heat those extra rooms and things of that nature may be getting a little too high. So you'll need to sit down and actually think about if the maintenance is too much for you, if it's time to actually downsize just a little bit. That's all. And then number 3, your home is too expensive. Well, what do you mean your home is too expensive? Are you paying way too much for repairs? Then maybe it's a little too much for your budget. Maybe you have an acre of land and you're tired of, paying someone to mow the grass on that. Sometimes the heating and electric can be much higher. So is your home too expensive? Is it time to move on to find something that's a little more suitable to you? Number 4 is a big one, and it is your neighborhood may be losing value. Real estate goes into cycles. It is always up or it's always down, but either way, it's always there. So if you find that your neighborhood is actually losing value, it's probably best for you to reevaluate how much longer you want to live there. And because it is a cycle, and it typically is about a 7 to 10 year cycle, what part of the cycle are you going to move out and use the equity that you have in your home to the best of your ability? So that's something to think about. And if you're ever curious about your neighborhood's crime, you always can go and check that out on www.crimemapping.com. And if you ever need to find about an idea of how much your home is worth, you can reach out to your local agent, such as I, and we can run a CMA, which is a comparative market analysis. There is no obligation for that. You should always kind of know about what your home is worth anyway. And please do not go to the sites such as Zillow or any other place that knows how to tell you estimates without really knowing the criteria of your neighborhood. I'm going to leave that there. Number 5, changing of the weather. Maybe you live in a cold part of the world and you're just not interested in the cold anymore, and so you need to find another place to live that's more suitable to your conditions. In some cases, the health conditions dictate where you need to move. I have a lot of friends who live in Arizona and they're dealing with the heat right now, but many have said, you know what? When we get older, we're not going to be able to handle all this heat. We're going to have to move somewhere that has 4 seasons. So that is something to take into account as well. And finally, number 6, change is just good. Sometimes you just need to shake things up a little bit and get out of your box. But before you do that, you need to see if trying something different is for you. Is it within reason? Is it within your budget? Do you have enough equity to help you move? These are the things that you have to think of before you make these massive decisions. I am here to help you regardless of what state you're in. I have been licensed since 2006 and I actually really love what I do. So if you have any questions regardless of what state you're in, please reach out to me. You can find me at Realty Goddess and all of these social media streets. And you also can find me at www.laurakey.net. That is my website, and you can reach me directly there. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that these have put a little thought into your mind. Maybe it's not time for you to move. Maybe it is. But these will give you some reasons to seriously think about before you make that move. Again, my name is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess of Los Angeles, California, and I help to establish the community one house at a time. I wish you nothing but love, light, and blessings. Why not go out on a limb? Isn't that where the fruit is? Go be a good human. You never know when a smile is going to save somebody's life. Mwah! Sugar. Bye.